Hey everybody, I'm Adam,
Michael, did you?
and today we're going to be recapping the second episode of Game of Thrones Season 8, The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because we're born in Ohio.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, because I actually think that was the best scene of the episode. But before we jump into that,
Yeah.
let's kind of give like a rundown of what this episode was about. And I'll say, as far as story, I got into this with Kyle last night because I asked him what he thought of the episode, or no, he outright just said that was a great fucking episode. And for me, I agree that it was a great episode, but as far as story movement, it felt like filler. And I'll explain
All right.
as we get into it.
You didn't make it. You didn't feel to you like it was, tying up some loose ends about some character stuff.
That's what he was saying too, but I'll get into that. So
All right.
the big things, I guess, that happened this episode were so Jamie had showed up at the end of the first episode, so we get, okay, what's going on there? And we learned that all of my predictions, except for one, were shit from last episode. Because the scene where Dany is kind of interrogating Jamie showed that Dany is actually taking the advice of others and not going her own way, which I did not think was going to happen.
You still don't feel like she's got a little bit of anger stuff,
Oh, she definitely-
madness building a little bit. I mean, I don't mean a lot, but a little bit.
Well, she definitely does.
Yeah.
But I was expecting there to be more conflict there. She actually seemed pretty reserved. Like she heard Sansa change her mind after Brienne vouched for Jamie. And then Jon is off there sitting there thinking like, oh, fuck, I'm fucking my aunt. He's not even paying attention.
I honestly forgot he was even sitting there for a few minutes because he was just there.
And then she asked him, he's like, oh, we need every guy we can get.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it. And then she's like, God damn it. I guess I'm cool with it.
Well, okay.
Wait, no, don't. Let's not get into that yet. Let's just go do the full overview.
You want to do the full overview before I can even touch on what you just said?
Yeah.
Just go on.
It won't take long because, like I said, I don't think there's a lot of progression of story elements that happened. You get a lot of character moments and that they're great, and that's where I feel like you're going to live in this recap, which is good because that's what it was about. The only other big things were, okay, Theon made it back. Sansa's happy about that. Dany tried to find common ground with Sansa, but Sansa's like, well, what about the North? We don't want to be part of your shit. What happens to the North? So there's still that rift there.
Yeah.
But I think at least they both know who each other are now. Like,
Yes.
they understand that. Man, my voice is fucked up this morning. Apologies.
I'll take it.
What's remaining of the Night's Watch showed up with the wildlings and let them know basically the timetable they have until the fight's going to begin. So they started their strategy on how to defend, and Bran just arbitrarily tells the motivations of the Night King is just to erase mankind, essentially. And that involves, that's why he's so important, because he is a living memory of the entire history of the world. So if he kills Bran, the memory of men is gone, and he wants to have the long night so he can just kill everybody, and then it's all gone.
And then what?
And then he's just gonna
Just wander around the ice?
wander around, make popsicles. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the other two big things were, in my opinion, Brienne being knighted by Jamie, which was my favorite scene. And then at the end, Jon tells Dany that, hey, guess what? I'm Aegon. I'm your fucking nephew. And then
And
she
I'm fucking your nephew.
and I'm fucking you. And her reaction at first was which was kind of funny, because it's almost like they were calling out the writing of the show. She was like, "So you got this information from your brother and your best friend?
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem a little convenient?" And anybody that, could take a step back and look at the show from that standpoint of like technicality, writing, like cleverness, it seems a little convenient.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny they kind of acknowledged that, but before they can really get into it, and she seems kind of pissed when she's accepting it. She's like, well, that means you have a fucking claim on the throne because you're the last remaining male Targaryen. And she seems fucking, I mean, you could see it welling behind her fucking eyes, like she's pissed. But before they can get into it, this horn blows and the fight's about to begin. And to me, that's basically, at least like progression story. All that happened was basically, hey, I guess Jaime's cool. Brienne's a knight. Bran said the Night King wants to just destroy all memory of man. I'm Aegon. Okay, now we fight. But like I still think it was a great episode because of the character. Like, one of my favorite episodes, or my favorite shows, is Deadwood, and that's all about character.
Yeah.
So this episode, I still think was great, but like I said, like I said this to Kyle, I said it oddly felt like filler, just because I didn't feel like it progressed the story much. And how could it though? I mean, it was only it was only a day in the time frame.
Yeah.
When many of the episodes cover like a week or like some longer period of time. But you can go back now. What were you gonna say? Let's go back. You were going to say something about the scene with Jaime.
When they're there with Jaime, if anybody overreacted to Jaime, okay, I thought Dany's tone was just right, and everyone couldn't be so irritated, and they couldn't just execute Jaime. That made absolutely no sense, because they already all were just sitting with Jaime how many ever weeks ago is supposed to be at that meeting, and she didn't say at the time, oh look, there's the fuck that killed my dad.
Well, I think that's a different scenario. So that was a scenario
but she
where
didn't even glare at him. Like, there wasn't even this long, like, unsettled, there's that motherfucker. I mean, if they did,
it's like every wife of every leader who has to come meet Trump, where they smile and they're nice even though they think that guy's a dick.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that was.
That's how you're taking it.
Yes, where she had to put on a nice face because they were trying to get help.
After she showed off by landing in on our dragon?
Well, yeah, she had to do a display of power just to let them know, like, okay, I'm the real deal. Now look at my fucking crazy ice zombie. Now, you want to help or not? And they said they would. But when Jaime shows up and there's no help, she's like, okay, you are the piece of shit that I knew you were, and now I can tell you.
Her tone was right for me. Like, she didn't start yelling at him or get overly, zealous about, oh, I want this fucker dead now. So if they would have done that, that would have bothered me.
Yeah. No, I think they played it well. But I thought that she was going to propose like some kind of punishment or something to.
Can you tell me something I couldn't, which you left me a little bit puzzled, and maybe you caught it and I didn't. When Jaime went to Bran at the tree, okay, and to kind of apologize.
Yeah.
When he said you didn't tell them, was he talking about you didn't tell them that I was the one that pushed you out the window?
Yeah.
Everyone fucking knows he's the one that pushed him out the fucking window.
Do they?
That's why the whole fucking thing pretty much started. And then because he didn't die out the window, then they thought at the time Tyrion sent the knife. You didn't think anybody put that shit together?
No, I don't think the surviving Starks, any of them knew, because he was unconscious for a long time, and by that time, I mean Sansa, Arya were already at King's Landing with Ned.
No, that's right, because I guess Ned finds out on his own that Robert has a bunch of bastard sons and that those kids were not his. They were, and then puts that together. For some reason in my head, even though I just rewatched the entire series, I kept thinking, this is kind of a known thing.
To my knowledge, only Catelyn and probably a few people knew, like the old Maester, but all those people are dead. So I don't think Sansa
And
Arya,
everyone else was spread out.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Okay. Because
And
I was like, wait, what?
I liked his response though. He was like, "Well, if you're dead, you're no help."
Yeah.
And like he's the three-eyed raven now, so he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't really have any worries about what happened to him in the past.
Right. No. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. What did you want to just?
Actually, I'm gonna backpedal just, but there's two best scenes:
Okay.
the Brienne being knighted, and the reveal that Ghost is still around.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? He's just there on the wall behind John.
Yeah, they're probably gonna kill that fucking direwolf in the next episode, but they just had to they because everyone's been bitching forever, like, where are the fucking direwolves?
Yeah.
Ghost should never be leaving John's side.
No,
And part of that's because CGI is expensive and they're using it all on dragons. And really with this, it's not so much CGI as they're just enlarging a dog. And
Right.
it never looks quite right,
It
usually.
doesn't. Yeah, I agree.
So I feel like they just were like, nah, let's not do that. And so direwolves are just kind of, we know that they're around, but we just never see them.
It's like the first book in the first season. They make a
There's a huge point.
a huge point that they've got these direwolves and you care about them because they're associated with each of the Stark children.
Yeah, like their connection to the Stark children are like, they're bound like so tightly.
Yeah.
And they just dropped that. And I feel like that's, part of that's just because they're doing a visual medium and series, and things cost money, or things they might have not have been happy with how it looked. I don't know, but there's certain things they dropped, like they dropped trying to have Jaime and Tyrion be blonde.
Oh yeah.
They completely dropped that
Yeah.
when the Lannisters are all blonde,
Right.
all golden of hair.
Yeah.
But it's things that happen where they're like, well, this is a detail that no one really necessarily cares about, so they drop it.
It's
Or
their slow change into becoming Starks.
sure, yeah, let's go with that.
What about, was it a little bit uncomfortable? And I know she's a young woman now.
Are you talking about the Arya sex scene?
Because
I think that was the worst scene in the entire episode.
I was trying to, I was uncomfortable. It didn't help that I literally just finished rewatching the whole series, but like it's still very fresh to me how little she was at the beginning when this show
Right.
started, and I still feel
So-
like she's still.
I think there's a couple things going on with you having that feeling for that how you're taking that, and how I took it, and how probably a male perspective takes it versus a female perspective.
Okay.
For a female perspective, I could see it being this empowering thing, because Arya's almost like the first woman that it's like, okay, I'm gonna fuck you,
Sure.
and like she
No,
takes
yeah.
charge, and it's her decision, she's doing it. But for us, like this is just a cultural thing where like you seem more protective of your daughter than your son.
I'm very much so.
So in the fact that we've watched Arya from a little tyke to now, those same feelings are coming into play. So where you're like, it's like watching your daughter have sex.
Yeah.
Don't ever think about that.
Yeah,
I'm
God,
sorry
no.
I said it.
Yeah, please. Jesus.
So it's like, oh yeah, she's an adult now, I guess, but I didn't want it. I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
It was weird because I don't think Arya needed to be a sexual character. She turned into this assassin, this badass.
Yeah.
And I guess from the standpoint of her, like the one being taking control, I guess it makes sense. But for me, like, it just felt kind of shoehorned in there. It's something that was not needed. They just, okay, I'm gonna bang Gendry now,
Yeah.
and that was definitely a body double.
But I did see, yes. But I mean, I was hoping as a fan of the characters that the two of them would, of course, end up together. She's liked him since she was little. When she first, saw him, you could tell that she was attracted to him.
Yeah, there was flirty little this and that's.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't need to see her completely undress. Let's get it started. Let's know what's going to happen, and then let's just go away from that scene.
Well, for Game of Thrones, it was fairly timid.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
you got-
no, it absolutely was timid for Game of Thrones. There was no bush, there was no dick swinging. There was,
Coming off that Bronn scene in the first episode where you saw well, you didn't actually see the insertion, but you saw the motion of like, oh, hey, I'm putting my dick in
Yeah.
my pussy now.
yeah, that was.
Going from that to some tasteful side boob and a little bit of butt. I mean, that's
It's not porn. It's HBO.
no, yeah, there you go. Wait 1 second here. Yeah, so for the whole episode, that's the only thing that felt kind of out of place to me. It like, I mean, I liked all the character, like all these character moments. I like that she kind of went to the Hound and talked to him for a bit.
Yes, I needed that.
And just kind of like, it wasn't like, she didn't say like, hey bud, we're good.
Yeah.
But it was more like acknowledging like, why are you here? And he said, I fought for you.
Yeah.
Because she said, you only fought for yourself. He said, well, I fought for you. So that was a nice moment.
It was, yeah.
And then Beric Dondarrion comes and she's like, well, I don't want to talk to you fucks.
Yeah.
I got a young dick to go sit on.
Yeah.
And she got her weapon.
Yeah.
So that's a thing, which from her schematic, it looked like that dagger is supposed to shoot
It
out or
shoots
whatever.
out of it, yeah.
So, I mean, they didn't show that, but I guess that might be some kind of
She's gonna
reveal
use
in
it
the
to save.
next.
She's gonna use it to save somebody.
Okay.
By the way, I honestly think I don't see her dying in this war. I see.
I don't either.
I see, like Jaime.
Well, let's get to predictions toward the end. Let's go through some of these other character moments. I know you want to jump all around.
All right.
I'm trying to give some kind of structure.
I'm gonna give you some structure. Lay it on the table. I'll have you build on it. Go on.
The whole drunken group around the fire scene
Yeah.
with Brienne getting knighted. That was my favorite scene of the whole episode. I liked that group getting together. I liked Tormund.
Like his look, man.
Well, first of all, when Tormund comes back in and he like spins around, is the big woman still here?
Yeah.
Fucking loved it. I laughed every time he fucking talked. And then when he sees her like sitting next to Jaime and like Jaime's saying something to her and he's like, well, they call me Giantsbane. Because I killed a giant and fucked his wife. Actually, he didn't fuck his wife. He just went into bed with her. And apparently he suckled at her teat, and that's why he's so big and strong. Which is fucking amazing. Because it started that guy like boasting about himself to try to make the other guy seem like not so much. They're both like fighting over Brienne. that was great. All their little banter between that group was good. And then Brienne getting knighted. Brienne. This was kind of Brienne's episode, which, like I said, the title of this episode kind of fits because Jaime comes and he acknowledges her for one because he wants to fight for her, and she's so used to him giving her shit and being kind of the old like sarcastic, shitty Jaime that she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
And he's like, "Well, I want to fight for you," and she kind of was like, "Okay," and walks off like, "What the fuck?" And then he knights her, and that's like the full, like, except like him acknowledging Brienne for how awesome she is.
Yes.
So I do love that character. Although the behind the scenes thing where they're saying like, Brienne loves Jaime, but doesn't these aren't feelings that are like normal for her. Like she doesn't really
I didn't
understand.
watch the thing afterwards.
Okay. Well, that they mentioned that. And
I didn't even watch it. I don't watch the trailer for next week either. I literally watched nothing.
they didn't really show much in the trailer. Like it's all implied action.
Well, Cersei's the one that pointed out that Brienne was in love with him. I mean, not that you couldn't tell as the viewer,
Right.
but
Well, Cara didn't buy it.
that she loves him.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're displaying that like in a very obvious way.
I think Brienne feels like she's not attractive enough for him. She's she's
Well,
not
she's
going
always
to come out
been
and yeah.
made fun of and whatnot.
Yeah, but even Cersei says to her before she leaves, she makes a point saying you love him.
Was that last season?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, because that was at the
Okay.
at the council. It was right after the council meeting when they were walking away.
You do have a little benefit because you've been rewatching the show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look over my notes. I guess Theon and Sansa's relationship now makes sense because he got her out of Winterfell. Like he was her last like pillar, like the only thing of familiarity.
Yeah.
In that situation, he got her out of it.
And he could have stayed away after he fucked over. He could have said, "I did enough when I got you out," and he still came back anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate him coming back. Like they're doing well with that character.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the whole like Bran thing.
All right.
So he's gonna be out in the open for them to help draw the Night King out.
Who's gonna fly over the fucking dragon and just blast his dick hole? I mean, honestly, it's what he could do.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But don't worry, he's got Theon.
Yeah. Theon will do what?
Yeah. And and you saw Bran go, nod and say, "Yes, I will take your protection." Like, what?
I think he was just that was another thing of acknowledging like their acceptance of Theon back because
sure.
Theon had taken the castle from young little Bran.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know. Just
the plan doesn't make solid sense to me.
No.
If he was in the crypt, if the Night King can feel where he is, I feel like that would still attract him and draw him out. But I'm sure it'll be some thing.
Hopefully there's not some fucked up thing that they're putting all the women and children in the crypt. And then somehow, some way, Mr. Ice King brings up all the dead Starks and they slaughter all the people in the crypt. That'd be fucked up.
That would be really fucked up.
But they'd all be bones right now. And that'd be weird. But you know what? You've seen plenty of
you've seen bone
that are just bone people.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that because I don't really know the extent of the Night King's power.
Yeah.
I just figured those bone things were like whites that had been around for
that's what I assumed as well.
A long time. Yeah. But maybe, who knows?
I mean, John's mom could rise and
yeah, that'd be fucked up.
It's gonna get all kinds of fucked up.
Johnny had an interesting theory that I'll bring up, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me bringing it up. And if he does, what can he do about it? His theory for how the Night King dies is kind of interesting.
All right.
He thinks that Bran will, like, warg into him in the past, into, like, when the Night King's being created.
Yeah.
And Arya will stab Bran to kill him, which, in chain reaction, kills the Night King. Because we've seen that Bran can affect the past. Like, he warged into Hodor.
Yeah.
And created Hodor, essentially.
But then he's in Hodor. I don't understand how Arya stabs Bran, or she stabs the Night King.
No, she stabs Bran. She stabs Bran, who is warging into the Night King in the past.
So he therefore becomes the Night King?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. And then what?
And then the Night King dies.
Why would the Night King die?
Because he's essentially killing the Night King before he became the Night King. Although I don't know about his idea of it being necessary that he'd be warging into the Night King in the past. Because he could do it at any point of time. If you do it in the past, then you open up a whole ball of wax of time shit. Like the butterfly effect deal. So that would undo a lot of things. I don't think Brandon the Builder would have built the wall then. Like that kind of stuff. Right. So I don't know if, I think it's an interesting theory of, utilizing Bran's ability in some way to go against the Night King. So I think it's just a cool idea.
Yeah, no, I've read other people's theories about him doing that as well. Why doesn't he just pop into him and do this or that? But it seems too simple.
Well, he might not be he might not be able to because the Night King is a pretty mystical type creature himself. So I don't know the extent of Bran's abilities to warg into other things. because obviously certain things are protected by magic. Like the Night King couldn't get into that cave where the children of the forest were because it was protected.
I think they kind of established kind of like, Bran can control things that are the living, and then the Night King can control only things that are the dead. Like this yin yang type deal thing.
I never thought about that, but that's true.
At least that's how I was taking it,
Yeah.
But Bran's just so weird.
I mean, they've definitely made him strange this season. I'm trying to think of anything else like worth talking about with these characters. I mean, Jorah had his nice character moment with Sam, where Sam kind of gave him his family sword and talked about how his dad made him a man, and he felt that he should offer this sword to him.
But I'm confused. So I know he said he can't really lift it to fight with. Okay, I get that. But it's like he did this whole thing with Jon where, no, motherfucker, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to go down I'm going to fight.
Well, he'll probably be using some kind of dragon glass weapon.
I'm just saying. Do that. Do, I don't know, flip it around or something. Flip it around, man.
I mean, it's not betraying his character. He's
And
not, he's not a good fighter.
I find it odd that Tyrion's going to be down with the women and children.
Well, I get what they were doing with that. It was Dany's way of apologizing and acknowledging, like, his...
I understand.
Which Jorah put her up to. But the end of the episode ends with him up on, the castle walls looking out at the army approaching. So he's going to have to go down there. I don't know if he will. Because, I mean, he's already been in...
I think he needs to be.
He was unconscious for one battle, but
like the Blackwater fight, he needs that kind of to help strategize the whole time. While if it's something starts to go, but man, they're like, this isn't like a normal. They better not do this kind of like a. It's got to just be a damn swarm. I don't see any other way they can do it. They've established that they just swarm. They just swarm the whole time.
Right, and we don't really know the extent of the Night King's army. And what sucks is if they kill anybody, you're adding to his ranks.
Yeah. Well, he's going to fly in. They already showed just all the other ones on the horses. He's not even there. So he's definitely flying in. And I don't see how this is even going to work. That fucking dragon just come in all reality and just ice blast the shit out of the whole place. Kind of like how Dany could easily just have gone into, where Cersei is and blow up the whole fucking place, which is what Tyrion said. You don't come in and kill everybody off to take it over. There's nobody left to rule.
Right. Which that makes sense.
Yeah.
That is a very logical explanation as to why not to do that.
Yeah.
Why the Night King doesn't do that himself. I mean, the only thing you'd say is Dany still has 2 dragons, and that's what'll hold off the ice dragon from coming close enough. But they already said that they were going to have the dragons hang back, which I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
To protect Bran.
Yeah, how does that... It doesn't make any sense. I mean, in reality, you need to keep coming in and blasting the fuck out of that entire swarm over and over. It's the only thing that makes sense, unless they're afraid they're going to get ice javelin again.
His Olympic throw of that javelin again and take down another dragon.
I just wish he didn't put his hand up to measure where he's going to throw it. Just look and throw would have been way cooler. When he had that hand come up to kind of steady himself, I'm like, all right, you're really making yourself...
That kind of made me laugh, though. Well, yeah, like I said, like plot-wise, there's not a lot that we were able to talk about. I mean, they are wrapping up, like, bringing some things full circle, sure. But that's more just like giving characters kind of a bookend in case they die next week. Actually, I'm going to steal somebody else's line too. When the Rocket Man was texting me this morning wondering where the fuck our episode was, he had a great analogy of what this episode felt like. He's like, when like a big group of people like go like to a wedding and they all stay in the same hotel block together. That's what this episode felt like. They were all just kind of there for a common cause and not necessarily all being important to each other, but they're just kind of there and just, let's talk.
It was very much like that, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that Arya's not going to die.
Mm-hmm.
That Jaime and or Tyrion, more likely Jaime's going to die. But because the Night King doesn't win his normal way, which is to wipe everybody out and resurrect everybody and move on, Jaime's corpse is still there. They kind of let that go, drop it. Jaime died, poor guy. They move on to whatever the hell else they're doing. And the whole time, Arya went over and stole his face. So that later on, Arya shows up as Jaime and kills
All to
Cersei.
kill. Oh. I like that.
Makes me...
I
then-
don't like
But then I wonder what they're going to do with
Arya
the mountain.
dying. But, well, I feel like we got to have the
You got to have
Hound.
the Hound, and you got to have that
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
That's very...
The Clegane Bowl.
that has to be satisfied. Yeah. Clegane Bowl.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I don't know why Jaime wouldn't be part of, like, he wouldn't be resurrected. Right? Maybe the Night King doesn't resurrect until, like, okay, we got everybody. Let's get rid of, that's everybody. Okay, all you dead people, stand up.
Yeah.
Got to replenish this army and then move on. Maybe he doesn't do it until the end.
I don't see... Here's the thing. I don't see them doing this enormously long episode with a huge battle, okay? We're going to have a huge character loss. It's got to happen. But then,
Are you prepared?
yes and no. Because they've made it to the end, that's what I need.
I think like this episode is trying to prepare people. Like they gave everybody kind of a happy thing or like some
Yeah.
kind of resolution in some way in order to take that character away next week.
Yeah.
I don't think Arya is gonna bite it either, but well, I'm interested in what's chasing her. Because they showed that in the original trailer. Okay, you didn't see the trailer for this. They showed the original trailer. Something was chasing her. And she's
Yeah.
running away from something. They showed that again for this, like, preview for the next episode. So something must get in the castle.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
starts
something has to-
chasing
you're
her.
right.
Either that, or maybe the Night King does raise people back, and people that died within the castle start attacking, which is a brilliant strategy.
That'd be
I don't know
brilliant,
how
yeah.
close he has to be in
To
proximity.
raise his hands, yeah.
Yeah, to give him the come at me, bro.
Dude,
Symbol.
This thought just came to my head also. This would be really messed up because it doesn't make sense to me logistically. But what if the Hound dies? Mm-hmm. And the fans feel like they don't get that fight. But then Arya takes the Hound's face, and because he did fight for her, she goes
And fights for him.
fights the mountain for him as the Hound. But then how the fuck do
Yeah, I
they
don't
do that
know.
whole stature thing? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know about
She's such
that,
a
yeah.
small... I don't know.
I had this thought last night. They're not going to do this, but I think it would kind of be interesting and really fucked up where the Night King wins and they kill everybody, but he raises everybody. And they, like, of course, this won't happen because they still have two or three more episodes after this next one.
Yeah, 3 more after this one.
So
Next one.
if he raised everybody and literally an army of dead people that Cersei knew
Lannisters, Starks, all of them. Just
are coming for her.
that
you-
would be kind of a cool episode. I mean, that would be kind of a cool thing to think that's what's coming.
I mean, that's definitely not happening, but I thought about that. I was like, I would actually be satisfied with that.
You know what? No, wait. No, something. No, here's the thing. Yeah, no. So Cersei's got 20,000 soldiers, which Jaime said is way more than what they've got.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be way more than what they
So
have.
the only
after
way I
this
can
fight
see that army being defeated and you get
is with some kind of.
it's got to be, yeah.
My original thought was that they would have to fall back in some way, and that
But
either
to where?
well, the Iron Isles is available.
Yeah.
I mean, they could always, if they fall back there and that army continues south and goes to King's Landing, and then they attack from both sides,
It's a shame Cersei used all that fire water.
all the dragon's fire
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Because, I mean, that could make sense strategically. Okay, we're going to fall back to these islands where only the Night King could get with the dragon. And so they're going to keep pushing south to King's Landing. And so Cersei's armies are going to have to fight that.
Yeah.
And then they come from behind. So it's basically forcing Cersei to fight with them.
You know what? That would actually work. because the White Walkers themselves and the Night King always stay back and let the swarm go ahead. If they came and flanked them from behind and took them out, the armies would die as soon as their White Walker boss, which their manager, what their fucking whatever you want to call them,
their boss, their manager.
That guy dies, wave dies. That guy dies, the wave dies.
I'm just going to keep calling these
general,
these captains, the managers. The White Walker managers.
Shift managers.
The shift managers. Okay. Yeah, you can work the fry station. Before we wrap this episode up.
Yeah, because I got to pee.
You peed when you got here.
I know.
Fucking old man.
I know I am.
I want to hear who you think's going to die.
Next episode?
Next episode. Give me your list.
All right. These are my for sure's are going to die. Jaime Lannister's going to die. For sure. I think for sure. What's the guy's name who keeps being resurrected? I always forget his name.
Beric Dondarrion.
He definitely dies. Theon definitely dies.
I think at least one Stark has to die.
I'm trying to think, because I try to think how R. Martin tries to keep moving the puzzle pieces around him, the chess pieces around to make it more interesting and more of a fuck what's going to happen now, like to make it more of a pain in the ass. So then I would have to say that then Sansa is my guess, because I don't think Arya dies now. It doesn't seem right. She needs more of a thing. Jon can't die now. He's already why go through the whole thing of resurrecting his ass from being stabbed 100 times to have him die right here? Maybe it was just to get here, sure, but I feel like he's meant for something a little bit more. I'm not saying he's going to survive the whole thing.
Okay,
but,
that's fine.
Podrick, definitely going to die.
You think Pod's going to die?
Yeah. And I don't see how Tormund survives, and I really like that guy.
Oh yeah.
But I don't see him making it through this thing either.
Okay. I think he's gonna save Brienne. Maybe that's how he dies.
Maybe that's how he dies.
Okay.
I mean, Dany could die. She could die in this episode.
Dany won't die.
But yeah, I don't think she will. But she could, because then it makes it too easy. Because then Jon is, there's no conflict between the two of them.
Right.
So they gotta have to do something that either she turns on Jon.
Yeah.
During this battle, which would be the ultimate fuck you.
The reason why Dany can't die is because she's the one that's making the push south for the throne.
Yes.
If she died and Jon lives, Jon won't see any reason to move south yet.
Right, I agree.
She's going to want to go immediately.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. Like, if she was smart, they would just recoup after this if they survive and then go.
Yes.
Unless they're worried about
I think Cersei's going to send it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, with the list you just gave, I would like to add the Onion Knight. The Onion Knight will die.
Yeah, I always forget
Which
about
sucks
him.
because I love him.
I love him too.
I think Jorah is going to die.
Yeah.
I don't want Jaime to die, but that's only because I want him to kill Cersei. But if your thought about Arya posing as Jaime to kill Cersei were a thing, then I'd be okay with him dying here.
I wonder if they don't show him die because they want to leave a little bit that maybe he's still alive, but they show him mortally wounded, and they just they're leaving him behind to take care of himself, and then she offs him, and then takes the face and goes. I can see her do that too.
Potentially, yeah.
And what's his nuts? Grey Worm definitely dies.
Yeah, he's such a B character, and they gave him a little moment with Missandei, and I'll take you there, and blah blah blah. Now you won't die. You're on the front lines, motherfucker. You are dead. Ain't no coming back.
Oh, and there's definitely gonna be a lot of Northmen that die. A lot.
Well, no shit. Good call.
A lot.
Have we really? We've seen some Dothraki there. I want to see the Dothraki go nuts on their horses going toward this swarm. But
yeah, that could be actually that should be pretty cool. But you're gonna see a bunch of them jump onto the back of the horses. So you got the Dothraki running. You got all these fucking zombies and shit.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
But I know you didn't watch the trailer, but they just showed the formations of the Unsullied out in front of the castle. I didn't notice Dothraki, but they might come in like they did before.
Swarm from behind.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's.
I still, no matter what, feel like the Night King is going to take a heavy hit.
Oh, yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
He has to take a heavy hit. I think for me, the only way it makes sense is if they do fall back. Because that, to me, I don't know what they're going to do with the next 3 episodes. Because, like,
Yeah.
they basically said, if we survive this, we don't have near enough people to fight Cersei.
Yeah.
And that's where it's all going.
Right.
So they need to be able to fight Cersei in some way. And the only way I see that happening is if they fall back and Cersei actually has to fight the
Or
dead.
my original thing
Plus,
is
that would get Yara back in play.
Winterfell, Night King loses this next episode, and then Dany immediately sends her 2 remaining dragons out to the waters, fire blasts all those 20,000 soldiers in the ocean. They all drown. Super simple and clean.
Yeah, but then what are they
Way
going to do
too
with the
easy.
rest of the
and
episode?
way too easy.
I guess I'll bring up one more thing that Johnny had brought up.
Really have to be. Go ahead.
We're almost done. He brought up, I completely forgot about this character because he's been gone for so long, Dario Naharis,
Oh yeah.
how he stayed back in Marine. Johnny has a thought that maybe he's made his way to the Golden Company and he can be an inside man. Which would be interesting. I like that in concept. I don't think they have enough story left to make that work.
There's not enough. Yeah, it's almost like I feel like they needed 2 more to do 8 episodes instead of 6, just to really finish things off. But I don't know.
Well, with the added time to some of these remaining episodes, we essentially are getting.
Oh, and we still have to
2 more
see
episodes.
with the whole thing with Arya. I'm still worried that what's his nuts is going to eventually come and just kill her ass.
Who?
The fuck, what's going on with my head?
Jack and Hagar?
Yeah.
Why would he come and kill her?
She's still using their stuff, and she didn't
No,
stay.
he the way he left it was like he's like, all right.
Yeah, but I didn't
You're
trust
right.
that. And she talks about, I've seen, she knows what they look like, and they're frightening, and you don't know when they're coming and whenever anything. So she makes that comment. It's even in the trailer before the season started. She's voicing that it's coming it eventually come, and she's afraid of it. And
Yeah, that's
so,
when they showed her running from
Right.
something.
But she does say those lines this last episode before she's running in that thing. So it makes me think they're doing a little bookmark saying she still has to somehow, because she did go off and keep doing the shit that
I don't
she
think
wasn't
that's-
supposed to do.
I don't think that's coming back at all. I think the Bravos and all that, I think that's done.
What are you going to do with the remaining 3 episodes then after the Night King loses next Sunday?
He's not going to lose. My prediction, he doesn't lose. They fall back.
Yeah.
His army keeps pushing south. They're going to have to come from behind.
Yeah.
for
That
the
makes
big
makes
battle.
honestly the most sense. It does make the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, what do you think of Pod's
Singing,
song?
I think he's got a good voice.
He does have a good voice. It felt a little Lord of the Ringsy.
It felt way
To
too
me?
much Lord of the Ringsy for me. I was like,
All right, well, we can wrap it up. We don't have this, like, I ain't got shit going on. We don't have time on anything
yeah,
going
I
on.
don't have anything either. Too much yard work shit.
Too much hard work shit. Me too. I'll tell you about that later. So we'll see you next week when we're probably going to be crying.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of tears.
We're going to all be mourning together, and I'm definitely going to be drinking next episode.
Yeah, yes, have to. All right, so until next time, I'm gonna go pee, and we're bored in Ohio. That's a good send off.
Do better.
I really have to pee. I really have to pee. I've got my legs crossed right now. I'm not even kidding you. I'm squeezing.
You're such a lady.
I'm serious.